me again. You know what's even crazier? Throughout this whole year, right, that I've been living here, that I've been living with my mother, because just because you're blood, it doesn't, right? You can't be walking around with that title so easily. But what's crazy is that she knows everything about my spirituality, right? She knows that I pretty much discovered everything by myself, right? Discovered all of the things that people were doing to me in Los Angeles, right? Which, come on, she was the starter of it. She was my biggest bully. And what's crazy about that is that the whole time she was acting like if she didn't know, right? She's seen me stressed out. She's seen me trying to figure out why everyone was being so silent, right? She's seen me trying to get to the bottom of it. Meanwhile, she was the root of all of the issues, of all of the drama, of all of the jealousy, of all of the chaos, of all of the character defamation, right? She was the root of everyone, the root. She was the root of why I lost all of my friendships, right? Well, I don't consider that a loss because, come on, if you want to believe what someone else is saying, and no one ever asked me anything, right? No one ever told me what was being said about me, which was false. And she was the root of that. And she was acting like nothing. Which is why, guys, I tell you that just because someone goes to church, right, like she does, she claims to be a Jehovah's Witness. Girl, what are you a witness of? You're a witness of your own crimes, right? You're a witness of your own abuse to your own child. That's what you're a witness of. And you're also a witness of just everyone around you falling for your manipulation, but not me, right? But it's okay, because I eventually got to the bottom of it. Right? It was her. She was the one that contacted my exes, right? I only have 2 exes. I've never been the type to just date anyone. And that's a different topic. She got in contact with them, right? And she sent them the false power of attorney. And then she said I had all these diseases. She said I was a drug addict. She said I was mentally ill, right? And then what happens when she does that, right? Then you have Mark Camarena in LA, and then you have Ricardo Hernandez in Sacramento, going around and spreading those lies, confirmation about me, showing it to people I was friends with, showing it to people I would work for, And slowly but surely, right, that is how a smear campaign is created. I'm not gonna lie, they were smart about that, right? It's like you have to look at it with the intent that they planned it. When you destroy someone's stability, right? And you keep going and you keep going with lies and lies and lies. Slowly but surely, that person's foundation could be destroyed if they're not aware of it. Right? And what happens when your foundation is destroyed? You don't feel like you belong. You start not liking yourself. You start getting weird feelings in your stomach of not being stable. And that's what they were trying to do. So she did that. She started the whole smear campaign with the fake power of attorney to give her some type of control, because narcissistic people love control. And then you look at her, and then she looks like a little innocent fly. Like, no, girl, you're evil, and you are the one that's mentally ill. You are the one that takes over 40 different mental health medications a day for your depression, for your anxiety, for this, for that, for your cancer, for this, for that. But everything that you have, you deserve it. For being so evil, for being so malicious, for sacrificing your own child for money. And it's so crazy that I'm just, oh my gosh, two beautiful birds. I'm just grateful that out of many of the spiritual gifts that I have, discernment is really important. And not everyone has discernment, right? People can say, oh yeah, I can see through. No. You would be surprised at how good people can hide their true self behind the mask of being loving and kind. But when those doors closes, right, when people are not looking, she turns into the devil. She screams at the dogs. She wakes up angry with pains. And then you're wondering why. Don't wonder why. See why, right? You portray this persona like you're a religious person. Girl, you are not religious. Instead, you're devilish. And you know what's another thing too, that in my moments of reflection was that my mother always, since I was little, she had different men, right? And I've always been like this, the same way. Obviously, I'm more mature now, but I've always been like this happy person, and always so curious and want to learn new things. And no matter if I was right, she would always defend her men. And why? Why would someone defend their men over their own child? Even if the child is wrong, right, you should stick up for that child because it is a child. But nonetheless, right, those are many of the things that I've had to deal with, but it's made me the person that I am today, you know? But why would someone always defend their men, even if their men are just there, like lazy, like the lazy people that they are? Right? Because if she doesn't defend her men will leave her. And she doesn't want that, right? Marisol has always been a codependent individual. Always made excuses for herself as to why she didn't reach this. Oh, I came from Cuba with 2 kids. Girl, that is not an excuse. People make their dreams a reality with 3, 4, 5, 7 kids, right? And you still have the audacity to blame your kids as to why you didn't do this, why you didn't do that. And it shows how bitter you are because you weren't able to do what you really wanted to do when you had the time to do it. So, nothing's changed, right? She hasn't learned her lessons. In the universe, God has given her a chance. Look, after leaving when I was 16, right? I left at 16 before I even knew what an intuition was. And why did I leave? Because she never made me feel comfortable. She never made me feel loved. She never made me feel like I could be myself. And I'm glad that I left. Because if I didn't leave, God knows how that would have turned out. But we don't speak about things that didn't happen, right? Because it didn't happen for a reason. I am glad that I was able to leave and follow my intuition before I even knew what an intuition was at age 16. That allowed me to grow into myself. That allowed me to do the things that I love to do. And I'm not saying that it's okay to leave at 16, no, but sometimes, right, there are things that you must do and you will feel that. I've always felt that, and that which I felt, I do. But look, God gave her another chance, right? The universe gave her another chance to redeem yourself for all of the chaos, for all of the drama that you've caused, not only to your child, but to people around. And you fucked it up. Again. But that's okay, right? I just feel so free that I could be myself. And that is the most I could ask for. The ability to be myself and to not be worried about what other people are thinking. No, 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 no. I don't have time for that, especially after all of the inner work that I've done, after all of the dark nights of the soul that I had to sit there with myself and cry to myself and understand why it is that I'm crying. And the next day comes and I get up and I keep on pushing. Right? All that work has allowed me to understand things a lot better. And it has also allowed me to handle situations like this. Like finding out that my mother was my number one bully from the beginning of my life, and still have the mental stability, emotional stability to not let any of that affect me. And why doesn't it affect me? Because I've taken the time to heal certain things, heal wounds, right? No one can tell me the type of person that I am, because I know the person that I am. And even though she was the last person, right? What do you call that? The last, the nail on the coffin, right? The last person for me to figure out. She was the main ingredient in that smear campaign. Right? She was the cause of it all. She seen me as like a dollar, as like a dollar sign. Beautiful birds. She's been stealing money from me, right? Money that belongs to me, money that was supposed to be been given to me, and nothing has been given to me. She is so greedy and malicious, just like her husband, right? And look, and they both go to church, to the house of God. Guys, that is why I tell you guys, if you really want to know God, right? If you really want to feel God, you need to do that by yourself, or with the right teacher, right? Not by going to a place where there's like 300 other people whose energy is just probably chaos. They're all dealing with their own things, and all that is there, and like that does not give you the ability to truly connect to God. And yeah, it's easy for these people to lie to the community because they hold a title, because confirmation, because they go to church, because they work in the medical field. No, that doesn't mean anything. For example, my mother, right? She is in no capacity to be taking care of any elderly people based on her mental health, based on how many medications for her mental health she takes. And it still does nothing to her because she's still the same malicious, evil person that she is. And look, when they couldn't control me anymore, what happens? They tried to evict me. Well, not even evict me, right? Because eviction, right? You still have, like, you have to give like a 30-day notice, this and that. But no, this is how evil they are, right? I don't. She doesn't even deserve to be called mother. Marisol went with her husband to court to file an unlawful detainer, and I had to, figure out what that was, and that's okay. I'm very curious. I love learning new things, and basically, with an unlawful detainer, it means that the tenant has no relationship to the landlord, which is already false, right? Because legally she is my mother, and the landlord is her husband, which makes him my stepfather. And yeah, why would they want to kick me out, right? Why would they just want to, when they know that they can't control me anymore? Because I know the truth and I know what you did. Why is it that they are so in a rush to get me out of there? Because of all of the money that they stole from me. Because of the life insurance policy that they took on my name. Which is all buried, right? All that money is buried in their backyard. And I could tell you exactly the spot. That's why they're so in a rush to get me out of there. Guys, and I laugh because it's just so crazy, like, when people are found out about, it's like they're like scrambling for like last minute plans. Not only do they have money buried there, but they also have a baby buried there. They also have a dog buried there. All sacrificed. Sometimes you just gotta laugh, right? To make things a little bit lighter, make things a little bit easier. I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful for my spirituality. I'm so grateful for the heavenly training that I've had these last 2 years, right? I'm grateful for everything I've learned, and I'm grateful for everything that I'll continue to learn. Because remember, guys, we always learn. But let me tell you, once you learn something, you don't have to relearn that, right? As long as you take the correct actions based on what you've learned to go through that situation differently than how you would have gone through it in the past, that is all you need for growth. Now, when you choose to act the same way that you were acting before, that's when you just go into this like karmic circle. And nothing ever seems to get better in your life because you are you continue to do the same thing you've always done. And we can see that. She has continued to do the same things that she's done all her life. Being manipulative with fake crocodile tears. Trying to seem loving and kind when she's not. It's like, how are you even jealous of your own son? If I would tell you guys the things she has told me, you guys be like, wow. But I don't have time for that. Like I said before, my life reflects all of my growth, right? My life reflects everything I've learned. Because to remain focused on what you love to do and still have all of this like unnecessary drama and chaos and stuff, that takes a lot of focus. It takes a lot of emotional and mental stability. Something that she doesn't have. And like I always say, the truth always comes out. Look how beautiful it came out. Confirmation. And then she's over there with her pedophile husband who stalks me. I have photos of that. Yikes. And I say pedophile because that baby that's buried in the backyard, right? I've smelled it. Come on, you would know what a dead body smells like. That baby was raped by her husband for sacrificial purposes. Crazy, right? And yet, she is there defending him.